Welcome, guys. Now let's go ahead and look at what I call Muade's fast mountain. Now this is really a very simple method that tries to keep you in a stock, and it only happens in quality names. So whenever you see this phenomena, you really want to hold on for dear life, because that is where you're going to make the most amount of money in the shortest period, holding the strong stocks in the market. And how this works out. So we are looking at Muade's fast mountain, which is really talking about the RSI action, especially on the monthly chart. Now what you notice is that around the 68 level, which is, as you know by now, if you've been following me, is that it's pretty much where the momentum starts coming back comes in a stock. Now when a stock, any stock that you observe makes its initial move above 68. Now, alright, stock is making its initial move above 68. You don't want to sell that on a monthly chart. You want to hold on as much as possible. It might take you a couple of months holding on to the stock, and it's going to form especially on stock charts, they show this over, so they shade this area. So that's why I call the mountain. That's where the name comes from. So you want to hold on the stock. You want to hold on during this fast move above 68 on the monthly chart of a stock that's making new highs, because this is where the stock has a huge move. So it's the fast mountain, the fast oversold move on a monthly chart for a stock. You want to hold on for as much as possible. And the way you approximate when you get out is you want to draw a line below the lows of this move on the RSI and get out when that line has been broken. You want to stay in as long as possible, because in this move, as it breaks above 68 here and this break of a trend, there's going to be a big gain in price. It's going to be big move in price, and you want to hold on. There will be a tendency to want to sell early, but you're going to be selling one of the best stocks you've ever owned at its most opportune time. So it's a really simple method. It does tie in with the Muade ultimate breakout, because it talks about the fast move above 68. So we're going to go and look at some examples so we can put all these things together in one video instead of separating the examples with the explanation. Okay, let's take a look at the first one. The first one we're going to look at is NASDAQ. Now, this is the NASDAQ. I have this on my stock charts blog, so it's kind of like a messy looking chart. But we see that, if you look at this just as any instrument, had a great move, breakout in 95 that took it for, I would say around below around 800. Wow. And within 5 years, it moved from 800 to 5,000. Dang! Where was I? But anyway, so let's look at what happened to the RSI. You see the NASDAQ had a great ultimate Muade breakout right there, made a new 3-year all-time high right there, or more than a 3-year high. So it ties down with the ultimate Muade breakout principle. And the stock breaks out right there. But the thing I want us to observe is this move right here, the fast mountain right there. You want to hold on as much as possible until that is broken. So you probably would have gotten and taken some profits. You have stayed in the most of this yearly move right here and got out. You can always get back in during the next breakout. Now notice one thing in the 90s. Look at this, the penetration of the NASDAQ, the angle of penetration, especially during the last move in late that started after this drop in late 98. Look at the sharp move above 68, and you could have caught that breakout perfectly. You rode the NASDAQ at that point. I would say, let me get that so I can be able to move this way. This breakout here moved the NASDAQ from, what is it? Let me see. yeah, from under in around 1800 to again to 5000 in a year and a half. So it was an incredible move. Now the thing to notice, the angle of penetration was steep and the stock stayed in the oversold region for many months until the peak in 98. Then again, all this, whenever you see a stock or an instrument that is showing examples of oversold and it keeps breaking out on a steep angle of penetration, that's a strong stock. So this was in the 90s. On hindsight and using the method I'm talking about here, this was clearly a period you wanted to be long the market. Clearly. It did not matter what Alan Greenspan was saying here in 95 with his irrational exuberance statement, because the market was clearly stronger than he knew, because he ain't a stock picker. We are. Alright, let's look at the Dow. Dow monthly again. You see that from 95 we had this steep move on the RSI, piercing it with a steep angle of penetration. More the angle of penetration there, and again we see the same ultimate more the breakout principles as the Dow made new more than monthly highs on the RSI going back to many years. And I can go back and check, but I'm sure that the MACDs also moved to new highs. So right here, and you can see the MACDs move to new high, and MACDs again move to new high. The thick line on the MACDs, that's a classic ultimate Moade breakout. So that would have told you, all your bells would have been ringing, that you need to be in the market making new highs on the RSI right there. And look at the mountain. So this is why the first mountain is key, because it gives you the biggest move in the shortest period of time. Now in this example, that moved the Dow from this area here. I need to check what that area was. Around the 4,000. And remember, this is an index that should not be moving that much. But at the time, the indicators were telling you that this was something significant going on. So you get that steep angle of penetration for an index, that's the rare. And then you have this ultimate Moade breakout on the RSI, a move above 68. Everything was going. And then you have this hold on here, first RSI move. Now you want to hold on for as much as possible. You probably could have been shaken out in late 98. I mean 97. Another breakout, so you could have took some profits here. You had another breakout here again. That was kind of like you see the, let me show that. Angle of penetration was kind of a little bit soft, and that showed that there was not going to be a big move here. But we come again, we settle down, eventually we do break again, and with a decent, not that great, but decent angle of penetration with a move above 68, that took the Dow for a little gain before it stalled right here. So in any case, this was the bigger move right here from here, and should have kept you in the market. And let me try something here. If you take those lows and just walk them, so you could have probably missed this move here thinking it was going to be a slow mover, but the Nasdaq was strong. At any event, the key, what I'm talking in this example, is this: stay in as long as you can in here for a stock or for an index. And if you keep getting repeated breakouts after you've had this big oversold for many years, monthly staying oversold, and you're getting fresh breakouts, that's a reminder that this market is still very, very, very strong. So you want to stay in that as long as possible. Let's go back and look at Apple. Again, you see an ultimate Moade breakout right here, moves to new high, steep angle of penetration past 68, fast RSI mountain. Everything was going on. Stock moves from around $10, goes all the way to under 39. I mean, in probably 6 or 7 months, something like that. So all that fast mountain ever for the stock was a big mover. So you want to stay in for as long as possible. And again, you want to just kind of draw that line there, and you get out when that line is breached. Okay. Now, I want to show something on again, Apple ultimate mother breakout. You got one year, 2, 3, new 3-year high on the RSI. It's always a key indication of a new move. So that was classic buy point. I remember we got in somewhere here. Of course, we haven't held on to now, but we played that breakout based on those principles. And again, a sharper move, and the stock has been staying oversold for many years on the monthly. So this is a strong stock, strong. And even after the early 2008 sell-off, the RSI still stays in the above 50. It still shows it's a bullish stock, one that whoever is holding for the long term is probably going to be making some money until some. And again, if I draw that trend breakout, you could have gotten out sometime in December of 2007. So watch this oversold areas. You don't want to sell. They usually tell you to sell, but I'm telling you, when you see this on the monthly, it tells you have a strong stock and you want to hold on for as long as you can stand it. All right. Let's go back now. Let's look at another example. It's RIM. Research in motion. Crack, baby. All right, now, okay, so it's been a great stock. I mean, look at these charts. You know, we're talking about $3-4 here, and now trading in the 120s. That's a big move in 4 years. Huge move. All right, let's look at the RSI. What the RSI was telling us. Remember, we get this breakout, ultimate mother breakout there, all-time high. Stock steeply moves above 68. Yeah. Look at this fast mountain. Stock jumps from, I would say here around $5, something like that, $4, and moves all the way to $30. Just by using this, knowing that the fast mountain, you never sell. You hold on for dear life. So even if you sold at $10, at 15, at 20, at 30, you still made a lot of money. So, and then we come back again, another breakout, and a new high right here. That move takes the stock from $50 all the way to $170. So, again, another ultimate mother breakout here, even as the stock was oversold. So you want to watch where your stocks are trading based on the monthly chart. Now let me take those annotations off so I can show you every time that the stock was making new highs on the RSI, like right there, new high. The MACDs confirm the ultimate mother breakout. Again, we come back, we move above 68 right there, and let me see, my MACD also was trending to a new high right there. So you knew that it was a great stock, great momentum behind it. Technicals were lining up. And even right now, if you're an institution, I mean, this stock has not materially broken down. You see that trend is still in place. So research is in motion. Right now, as I make this video, April 20 something 2008, I can tell you by the time, if you're going to be watching this video down the road, you're going to note that the stock now trading in the 120s did go ahead and move higher. This is a strong stock. Of course, a breakout above this level here, the 125, 126 area, is going to be an indication for us that the stock wants to continue moving. The last one on, wow. I mean, wow, whoa. We're talking about, here's a stock. Wow. $3, $4 here, went as high as 50, dropped down to 25, and went as high as 65. But this is big, man. I mean, wow. I mean, wow. Okay, so now, what was happening? First and foremost, the ultimate mother breaker. Even before I look, I know. There's no way that was not there. So we see what the RSI was doing. And first, even here, this first RSI mountain was a big move. We can't see that, but I'm sure the stock almost probably had a good gain, whatever it was, because usually you don't see this move on the RSI, sharp penetration without a great move. So I'm sure there was probably more than a double, 60, 50% gain here, whatever it was. Now, we get an ultimate Moire breakout right there. New highs in more than 3 years. We got a, so you know that this is a fresh breakout. We get a steep, this was a very steep penetration. Let me remove that so we can see it. Steep angle of penetration right there. Big indication of what intention. And it stayed oversold from mid 2003 and all the way, and kept staying there, and only broke it in mid 2006 for 3 years. It was a huge, the biggest RSI mountain for this stock. Even here, it broke to new highs. Another sign of momentum. This began another accelerated move within the accelerated move. So this first biggest mountain ever was where the stock had a huge gain. And so whenever you see something like this, you want to hold on for dear life. Now, there will be times when you hold on too long and the stock will lose some of its value, but really, you know that you're probably selling one of the best stocks you've ever owned. So you're better off just holding on. And in this particular extreme example, for 3 years. And yet it was really worth it, because the stock moves from the mid single digits, or even below that, $2 or $3, $4, and goes up to trade as high as 50 and then 65 eventually. Now, I want to show something about the ultimate Moire breakout, which is on a good market is probably one of my best setups. Right here, when we made 3-year highs on the RSI, you can see, as predicted by a strong mover, the MACD also makes a new high, all-time high. So all-time high, 3-year highs here. Wow, you're in for a ride. And that did pay off. Now, something else I wanted to point out is that the subsequent breakout, this breakout here that took the stock from, actually I do show that in the next step. Let me skip that. Here, I did show that. It's the same chart with some annotations, just kind of explaining the same thing, pretty much. Buy here, accelerated move after this new high here. MACD is making a new high here and here. It's during the ultimate Moire breakouts here. You want to hold on to the stock as long as it keeps maintaining this line. And that could have kept you in the stock, probably got you out in the 40s, for a good gain if you consider you bought the stock way below that, way below. And you remember, you can always take partial profits along the way. Now, but the thing about this breakout that was kind of iffy was the stock makes a new high, breaks out, makes a new high from around 47 to 65, but there was a negative divergence, and I'm sure you're going to see it. So right here, the RSI could not make new highs again. So that was a red flag, and subsequently the stock went on to lose, to drop. So from 65 to all the way to 30, and probably much lower, trading in that range right now. So I guess that's it for now. So that is all I had